Hello everybody, I'm winterpauluk. Welcome to a recording for YouTube. This is a video in regards to Oberon Prime. Now today what I'm going to cover is what I've got as my current build, then I'll explain why I've got it set as I've got it. Now bear in mind all my builds that I do make videos for, most of them are via request, and these are subject to changing for your own personal needs. So it's nothing to say that this has got to be the right way of doing it, but this is the way I play it and it suits me fairly well. This particular build has had me doing the solo void on Warframe for over an hour and had no issues on survivability just by myself. But this frame is mostly set up for multiplayer, so in regards to a team game. Anyway, let's get straight into it. This is my Oberon Prime, rocking the red and the black, as you can see. And let's look at what we've got on my Oberon. Now, I have got Arcane Guardian on there to provide me an extra bit of armor, but to be honest, that can be changed at some point later. My mods on my 2-3 build, and 2-3 stands for the abilities, ability 2 and ability 3. But in this regards, I've got growing power, power drift, intensify, transient fortitude, prime flow, phoenix renewal, blind range, narrow-minded, hunter adrenaline, and vitality. Growing power can be exchanged for the shotgun aura mod or the melee aura mod. So you've got your shotgun there, increases the shotgun damage by 18%, or you've got your steel charge, which is your melee. Depending on which one you prefer, I'd only recommend switching it out for either one of these two. Growing powers effect, apply stasis effects to with weapons, increase ability strength by 25%, and as you can see, I already have 172 duration, 50 efficiency, 34 range, and 290 on strength. Okay, now in regards to the Phoenix renewal, this particular mod is collected via the factions. And in regards to its abilities, what it basically does, well, I'll read what it says first. Phoenix renewal. Renewal augment taking fatal damage while under the effects of the Phoenix renewal will instead heal you or your allies 50% health. This effect triggers only once for each ally every 90 seconds. Basic terms: if you're going to die, it'll activate, it'll give you back half your health instead of you dying, and it'll activate on everyone in your team. However, once it's been activated, it has a 90-second countdown. Once it reaches 0, then it can activate again. Now this is 90 seconds per person, so I can go down, the person stood next to me can go down, and it'll activate for each of us at the same time. Even if I'm at 50 seconds on my countdown, it will still activate for somebody else. So it's not a case of it'll activate for one, you've got to wait for 90 seconds, it'll activate for everybody. So for instance, everybody went to go down at the same time, it'll activate on everybody at the same time. Not a problem, don't even have to consider that. Now it's easy explained. Okay, my Oberon build is set for hunter adrenaline, so it's basically providing a lot of health to benefit this particular mod. As you can see, I've got over 800 health on my Oberon, and the reason for this is every time I take damage due to hunter adrenaline, that damage is then converted into energy. However, this is Oberon we're talking about. He has his own abilities, which we'll get to in a second, but my recommendation: high duration and high strength. 34 is the minimum / maximum amount of range I would probably look at using on this particular build, because you don't need it for anything else. It gives you just enough range to cover doorways, and that's basically it. Efficiency could do with a bit more, however, with this build as it is at the moment, there isn't a way of doing that. And if there was another slot for a mod, adaptation is definitely the mod I'd be putting on there, because what it would actually do is any damage I did take, it would provide me a resistance towards it for up to 90%, which means that will definitely help on higher levels, and it lasts for 20 seconds. So funny thing is though, if you get hit by an ability once, it lasts for 20 seconds, get hit by it again, then that 20 seconds starts all over again. So it's definitely a good mod to be looking at if you're going to replace anything on here. To be honest, I haven't got anything on here at this moment in time that I think is potentially worth changing. Maybe swap me intensify for adaptation, you know, but I don't know. It's something I'll look at. I'm going to build another Oberon Prime, and we'll sort of just try that out. Actually, I'm going to see if I've got a set already. Let's see, Oberon Prime. Well, I'm out of the crystals to build this Oberon, so but I can do everything else. Do you know what? I will build the Oberon Prime on these two, because I can get the crystals in a moment when I show you a quick run of this build, so that won't be a problem. Okay, anyway, in regards to the Oberon Prime, his primary weapon recommendation is the Arc Plasma or another shotgun mod, preferably because of the high damage, high impact, in regards to what it'll do. My build currently set for the index, however it is fairly good for most actual games, unless you're going up against things that don't have shields like the Infested. In that case, I would then switch over to something like my radiation build. Okay, bear with me a second. I'll just go on it so you can see the stat wise. Okay, the radiation build: point blank, steel charged shell, scattered inferno, vigilante armaments, prime ravage, hell's chamber, blaze, and vicious spread. Bear in mind, the primed mods can be exchanged for the counterparts, being, you know, standard versions. So you got your standard charge shell there, and you've got your prime charge shell. So it's not a requirement. Same in regards to this particular build. You know, anything that is primed can also always be changed for their counterparts. Okay, I'll go more in depth in a moment. We're just running through the quick mods. So in regards to this build, I'm using the Prana Primes. Again, prime mods again can be exchanged for counterparts. Okay, this is my index build. The index build is basically set so I get an extra bit of ammo, but to be honest, this can generally be more than enough. So it's a toss up between extra ammo or extra damage. Up to you. Okay, Paracesis is my equipped weapon. However, my other recommendation would be the Zenistar. Now, it's the Paracesis if you are solo, Zenistar if you are multi. And the reason for this is if you're multi, you're more than likely going to be camping. So throwing your Zenistar out in front of a doorway can actually help you get to the higher levels, so you can stay longer. The Paracesis is good, but you're basically flailing around all over the place trying to chop things up. Solo, not a problem, because that's what you basically want to do. Keep moving so you don't get killed, but also slice things to bits. In my Paracesis build, Temper Royal, Blood Rush, Prime Pressure Point, Berserk, Prime Fury, Organ Shatter, Maiming Strike, Shocking Touch, Gladiator, Might. This is my build, but it is all depending on what you want to do. I do recommend trying to find your own setup. However, this is probably somewhere I would look at starting off from, and then just decide how you want it to play yourself. Bear in mind, with the Parasees, it's not like a standard weapon. When you're actually playing it, it is actually a rank 40 instead of the standard 30, but you do have to farm it to get that rank up. Viserion is on there for the health recovery. So basically, when somebody gets knocked down, using your Tenno, you can get them up 4 times, and using your Warframe, you can get them up 4 times as instantaneous. Now, my recommendation with this, when you are doing this particular thing, use your Tenno first, then your Warframe. The reason for this is if you're using your Tenno, that basically means if you get knocked back while you're getting your ally up, that's fine. But when you get to the higher levels, you're not necessarily going to have time to jump out to your Tenno to jump back into your Warframe, and you just want to run over your allies and get them picked up. So that's why I would recommend using your Warframe for that later, and use the Tenno first. However, another potential is using your Zenoric to get you started off on your energy production, and it'll also help your allies. But Viserion is probably more recommended. As for your actual companion, I do recommend a Djinn, and on top of that, with the Djinn, I suggest putting a Stinger on there. Okay, first things first, the Djinn required mods are Sacrificed and Regain, as well as Reawaken. Now, other required mods are Animal Instinct and Sanctuary. I do recommend all of these, especially Vacuum, because it'll save you from having to go and pick each item up one by one. But I will go more into detail in the mods in a moment. Stinger is the weaponry equipped to the sentient sentinels that you've got, in this case the Djinn. To be honest, I'm not really that bothered in regards to the builders this yet. I haven't really gone and spent a lot of time on this. It's just mostly about getting a lot of shots out there and working on it. And it's to work in conjunction with other things. However, you can actually use others. As you can see, I've got various things. Okay, now let's get into the real explanation. You've seen all what I've got equipped, and now I'll explain why. Okay, the reason I've gone for a high duration and a high strength, and these specific mods, okay, as it stands, when growing power is activated by the arc plasma, okay, when arc plasma takes his shot, what actually happens is your enemies get hit with a proc. Now this, in the build that I've got set on, would potentially be radiation or shields, magnetism. Okay, now when that happens, it activates growing power, which gives me an increased 25% on my strength, being this. Okay, so the 25% strength makes a big difference when I'm using my second and third abilities. Like I stated, it is a 2 and a 3. Let's see. So that 25% actually goes up, and my strength ends up actually being 362.5. Let's see. Unfortunately, I haven't come across an arcane mod that actually gives me extra strength yet, but if I do, then I will be switching out my arcane guardians for it. Alright, the way this is working is when you activate your abilities, the 2 and the 3, the power of strength you actually have determines the ability strength. So The standard Phoenix Renewal for me at 290 on strength will provide me a shield bonus of 580. However, with the growing power mod activated, that 580 becomes 631 if I remember correctly. Bear in mind, you will see this for yourselves in gameplay, so be prepared to take notes. Okay, now the hollowed ground is what provides you the actual shields, and the renewal is what provides you a health regain, which basically I can max it out at so far 123 maybe. But basically between those two specific setups, the basic rely is strength. High duration means the hollowed ground and the renewal lasts longer. The renewal is mostly set up so that it doesn't drain energy. I mean, energy a second 1.75. You know, there you go. A standard build is 116. Yeah, so basically it provides 116 health regeneration per second. However, when growing power activates, that does increase again. But for growing power to activate, you do need procs, and that's why I use the arcane plasma. The Oberon Prime will provide good procs as well. The paracesis as a melee weapon can provide slash ones. However, when using the Zenith Star, the actual star itself does not work in regards to providing you those procs. Not that I've noticed anyway. That may change in the future, so that's a 50-50 shot. Mostly rely on the arc plasma and the piranhas. The Djinn itself is set for a revive option, as you've got your Phoenix Renewal on your Oberon, which provides you half your health if you're about to die. Sacrifice, if you do die, when your counter reaches 4 seconds, it will, your Djinn or other sentinel, sorry I forgot the word then, will actually revive you at 4 seconds countdown. Bear in mind, when it does revive its owner, it does increase you by 100% health and shields, but then it destroys itself. Now, to make sure this doesn't go to waste, then what you can do is if you've got a regain on there, which I've got a standard version here, when your actual Djinn or whatever kills itself, the actual Djinn is respawned due to regain with a maximum health, and it's invulnerable for 6 seconds. Now this doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a start. As soon as you get prime regain and max it out, that's when you're going to get the most from this mod, as it will regenerate up to 3 times with 100 health, and it's invulnerable for 11 seconds. So what that basically means is your actual Djinn or other sentinel can sacrifice itself up to 3 times and respawn itself. So that's great. That'll help out a lot. However, if you specifically use Djinn, make sure you go to Cephalon and get yourself the reawakening. So once the prime regeneration and sacrifice have finished working, your Djinn gets itself killed. That's it, it's over and done with until you die. And a lot of people have an issue with this, because when you do die, you end up having, you get your sentinels and everything back. However, if you get revived enough, then you really end up having to run around and collect everything and wait until you die to get your sentinels back. However, with the Djinn, this specifically mod makes that change. So when your Djinn eventually is permanently dead, as it normally would be, as long as you stay alive for 90 seconds, it will respawn itself. So that does benefit in quite a number of ways, as in you're not going to have to keep picking up your supplies, you just have to run around for 90 seconds, which more than likely you will be. Now, so in the combination of the 2 and the 3 abilities, the Phoenix Renewal and the Djinn, you're basically a kick-ass survivor. And I have done at least an hour on the Void solo. And just so you can see this all in action, I'm basically going to do that. Now you can see I've got plenty of armors and shields, so I will be taking advantage of those just to get myself started in regards to the energy production. And what I'll do is I will switch to solo, go to the void, and we'll start with the Annie. Now the main reason for this is that I don't want to jump too far ahead and get myself slaughtered straight away, but this point is I have gone over an hour on Annie solo. It's quite easily enough done. I think I've done the same on MOT. However, the MOT is more of an ally. Now basically I really didn't think, because there's no point me having the getting allies back up, and that's just because, you know, at the end of the day I'm on my own, I'm solo. So that is a waste at this point. I should have changed over to Zenuric, but it's fine because we're here to show the other abilities. Now, Hunter Adrenaline gives you 45% energy for any health you lose. However, there is another mod out there, I forgot the name of it, but that mod only provides 40, so I do recommend Hunter Adrenaline. Okay, shields, let's take some damage, get this energy up. There we go. We've got enough energy to activate. So, third ability, second ability, get a shot, third ability again. Now the benefit for this is I'm basically just goating them. The first shot was to provide me enough. There we go. Come on. Prepare for life support. There we go. 580 without my bonus. 116 health regeneration without the bonus. Of growing power, that is. Now growing power activate. 630 one shield bonus or armor bonus, and 126 on the actual health regain. So it does make a fairly big difference, that 25%. Okay. Alright, let's do the I'm dead thing. So, if we do this here, turn off my health regeneration. Oh, actually, hold on. We need that on, but it's fine. We'll just stand here and let him shoot me for a second. It might take a moment or two, guys, so don't worry about it. But I've just realised these are such low levels, they can't actually kill me. Never mind. We need to basically get some okay, another quick thing while I'm here, just to show off, is you see these big balls on the sky. This is a pressure plate. Most people miss this, but when you hit the pressure plate, there you go, and you get some special drops from there. So, sorted. Most people actually miss that. I don't like missing it myself because, you know, it's like a little feature that was put into the game and most people don't even notice it's there. But as you can see, basically with this active, you know, I'm not even having any issues, you know. This is like, there we go. I'm sort of just running around, and I'm invincible at this level. The only time you tend to really start noticing is when they get into the higher levels. But that's it. I mean, it's generally something that you can do solo or a group. Groups are more preferential because if you're doing the camping option, you get more benefits. If you're not doing the camping option, well, there you go. Ooh, do you know what? I just thought. Let's see. We'll do the laser trick. I took enough damage. There we go. And there you go. Phoenix Renewal activated. That is the red flame next to my shield. So I've got to wait 90 seconds for the Phoenix Renewal to reactivate again. Okay, let's do the death. One minute and 27 seconds, but because I am solo, it automatically revives me straight away. Okay, another one. Okay, so that's 2 deaths. Sacrifices itself to bring me back. You better get another tower so I can make the most out of all this.
Life support incoming.
And as you can see, that the Phoenix Renewal activated. It's almost back to scratch, so I'll be able to activate that again soon. Okay, let's die. And the Djinn dies again. This time, if I'm not mistaken, is the last time. The next one, and it will permanently stay dead. Get rid of you guys. Okay, and there we go. Phoenix Renewal activated again. There we go. Now the Djinn permanently kills itself, and as you can see, the Djinn disappears. 90 seconds later it will reappear. So I'm going to grab some air towers just so we can try and survive until that happens. And as you can see, with my abilities active, I'm gaining energy at the same time as being just having my health removed, but I'm also gaining my health back at the same time. Not running too much into this. I mean, so far I've shown you basically all the abilities, but what we're going to try and test while we're on this video is if in fact the Djinn will respawn itself, and we'll be able to use the ability another 3 times before it dies.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
Okay. 20 odd seconds for the Djinn to come back.
Life support activated.
Let's see. Okay, the Djinn, Phoenix Renewal is actually back. The Djinn is back now. Well, no, now. There we go. Okay, we'll hit that. Now, first should activate is the Phoenix Renewal. There we go. Next one should be the Djinn.
Life support on the way.
There we go, we just confirmed the Djinn once died after the first 3 initial respawns will only do the revival once before it kills itself permanently again. Bear in mind though, as long as you stay alive for 90 seconds, that becomes irrelevant because, well, basically it comes back.
Another life support
And that's
capsule
it,
is now
you know,
available.
you're all sorted. All good. So hopefully found this video a bit helpful. If you have, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and you know, if you wouldn't mind sharing it, much appreciated, just to help those out that don't know the best way to be using Oberon. But just to confirm, when you're using Oberon's
Should keep you
abilities,
going for a while.
the small range is based so that you cover any doorway, and the third ability is, as soon as it's active on your ally, it's active on them until they're either hit with a nullifier or they actually do die. So it's nothing really to worry about. But that little range will cover the doorways, so make sure that 34, as I said, is a recommended max slash. Oh, there we
The
go.
longer the fight, the more successful we'll
Let's
be.
get this scan while we're here.
Life support incoming.
There it is, right for synthesis.
I know it is. I'm trying to scan it while doing a solo.
I require.
There we go. We got it.
You impress me, Hunter. This specimen will be studied
Hey,
for integration into sanctuary. Thank
I'm gonna make my way to the exit, guys, and that will be the end of this recording.
Delivered another life support
So,
capsule.
any comments, please feel free to leave me some. If you do want a video of another Warframe in regards to my builds or what I recommend, then by all means let me know, and I will get it out there as soon as. Any other questions, feel free to drop me a comment and let me know. I do keep track of them, or I try to at least, and I will respond. I will also leave my Discord link, so if you want to send me any messages in Discord requesting a video, you can do that as well. So let's get to the exit and get the hell out of here. You don't want to get that way. Yeah, so it's underneath. Here we go.
Tenno, prepare for life support.
Well, thank you for your time, guys. Have fun. Until the next one. Bye bye.